Tribes of the world, I bring you the most amazing news and information. For over 8 years now, this research team has been doing a live research, decode and investigation into what this world is and how it works. What we have repeatedly been finding is evidence that this world is governed by technology. By that, I mean technology below ground that is responsible for all of the effects of nature. These effects include rain, snow, lightning, winds, earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, tornadoes, waterspouts and many other phenomena. This technology we have also been decoding from various holy books, the Book of Enoch, sacred geometry, the Nazca lines, temples, sacred sites, and many other avenues we have covered over the years. We also have many visual sightings of this technology in the heavens: the sun halo, the moon halo, the lunar wave, the inverted rainbow we often see above our heads, even a clear daylight capture of one of these halos. Our research is evidence-based and ties in with our decodings of sacred geometry and every creation story we come across. You see, what they have done is personify this glory over time to help explain its workings. That message is easily lost and confused with our ancestors being accused of worshipping false gods, when in reality what we can see is they were actually glorifying the creation and the angel technologies that help create this world. They were all explaining how it works. This seems to have stopped 2,000 years ago, and ever since it has been systematically erased and replaced with other theories. Do you really think all of our ancestors got it so wrong? What all of this means is there is a creator, and their glory is the angel technologies below our feet, which is referenced everywhere once you know what you are looking for. The creator's glory is not copyright to any race, religion, group or nation. Who would dare to try and copyright such a thing? The angels have a very unique signature, the rainbow. This is caused by a plasma torus field being generated by the angels and the sun refracting and reflecting from this field below the rainbow. The rainbows reside where you see them and they can be mapped. This is why we started Operation Rainbow Warrior, to ask people to start mapping their rainbows so we can add them to a database and map and reveal their locations in the world. Would you be surprised if I told you every rainbow is marking a sacred site below? Marked and unmarked, known and unknown. As you join this amazing project and work of ours, you will learn how the angels in your neighbourhood create your local weather. We have many hints and tips to help you to get to know your local angels. They are usually in groups of 4, so you are looking for 4 rainbows in close proximity and all at a different scale. It is not unique to 4 rainbows, as there may be larger ones to add to this. We have released many videos over the years and done several interviews on the subjects we have covered, from the correct world map, how they seal the off to hide there is a beyond in all directions, and how the seasons work within this map using a decode I did of the Nazca mandala, as I overlaid it with maps until I found the correct map, of which is the Mercator map. No one is crossing the Pacific. The flight data and websites are being manipulated and the data is being flipped to appear to cross the international date lines. This theory of ours has never been debunked. No one can prove they are crossing the Pacific. Don't you find that strange? This is what World War II was all about. Taking control of the perimeters. They're all working together to hide this from the people. This has been an ongoing progression of tribal knowledge and destruction of many tribes' creation stories, which all tell the same story. They just have different names for it all. In this video, we go deeper and reveal the spirit form of this technology and how it works, with various references and decodings. So much so, we are going to show you the angel's creation process and many other decodes of this amazing technology our creator has installed inside the earth. 9 years ago, I never believed in a creator. Today, I present to you overwhelming evidence of their existence and their handiwork, thanks to the help of the APM research team, the Rainbow Warriors, those very observant sky watchers across the plane, and our unique decodings of a great many things. A word of caution. What you will see is going to change the way you look at the world forever. You cannot unsee this. You cannot debunk this. You can only add to it, which reveals more. Our ancestors were all being taught this in every tribe. You will recognize many parts of our research from your own creation stories, of which we will be decoding more of soon. This is not a religion, this is reality, and it is copyright to none. It is the birthright of every human being to know of this glory, to understand how it works, to partake in its grace, and to protect it from human interference, sabotage, reverse engineering and theft. I hope you would all agree on that. This information overrides all human protocols, jurisdictions and laws, as there is no law above the Most High, for this is what this is all about, our Creator and their glory. What you are looking at on screen is a capture by Sunset Sweden of a waterspout. This is one of the most amazing things you could ever witness in your life, and that is a very big understatement. This waterspout was recorded in Tylösand, Sweden. What we are witnessing is an interface event between the physical angel below and its spirit form above. The interface event takes place through the Vesica Pisces overlap of the two halos or coils, which represents the female vagina. The male penis is often depicted using obelisks. It is this process they are referring to, the interaction of the angels and how they create. The personifications we see in stained glass windows, sacred geometry and more are referring to this process. You will come across many sexualized depictions that actually refer to this process. This is the way the angels create. It is a two-way interaction. This is creation before your very eyes, and exactly how the angels create the noble gases and elements from the spirit world above to the physical world below where they reside. These interactions take place every day. They are more common than you think, as creation never stops. We are showing you how to locate your local angels and record these interface events. We will be highlighting more sites across the world where this is very obvious. Some shape the land where it takes place and some do not. Tornadoes, waterspouts and dust devils are signs of this interaction taking place. It can be worded like this: that by the angels of God ascending and descending, it is to be understood that a perpetual intercourse should now be opened between heaven and earth.
Dros Cymru dwi'n rhoi'r ddawn o weledigaeth rhaid mapio'r enfys. Castell Dinas Bran. Mae'r llygad yn ffenestri'r isfyd. Mae hwn yn chacra y rhymwyneb Vesica Piscis o anghelion.
Castell Dinas Bran. I remembered this tour from a previous visit to this site. Like Glastonbury Tor, it is an interface site. The castle on the top will be built on top of older Celtic forts. It is not what is upon the surface that is sacred, it is what is below. If anyone lives near this area, do look out for the rainbows. I'm not sure if this one is real, but do let us know and help us mark them on the map. This is a Vesica Pisces overlap of two halos which has shaped the land. Shout out to drone pilot Ed Jackson for allowing me to use his aerial captures of this site. This one has spectacular views of Llangollen and an Eisteddfod is sometimes held here. There are more of these sites than meets the eye, and we are going to reveal them to you. Why do they build castles and forts on top of the same sites over and over? What does all of this sacred geometry mean? I have decoded the front of the Valley Crucis Abbey, which you will see later in this video. It all refers to the Creator's glory below these sites. Just locate their rainbows. If anyone from Wales is familiar with the creation story, do get in touch. I can decode it for you. Someone is already going to cover Ireland. England and Scotland will also require representation should anyone wish to see their creation story being decoded with APM eyes. This is a capture of a rainbow over a wind farm in Allenby Bay, Cumbria, on the Solway Firth, England. Captured by a Ms. CRW. She said it was right over the wind turbines. I decided to have a drive up there and meet her and try and record it myself. I didn't capture the rainbow that day, but I did capture an event to the left of where it was. This event I recognised as an interface event. I also decoded that this is Medusa. Medusa is a personification of this process, seen here in her Vesica Pisces depiction. I was gazing at Medusa. I did not turn to stone, but things around me were. Medusa proceeded to soak me for 5 minutes, then gifted me a treasure. True story, but that's for another day. A full circle rainbow, captured by Rainbow Warrior Phil from Glasgow with his drone. To capture a full circle rainbow, you just need some altitude. Every rainbow is a full circle. Capturing one like this helps to be very precise with its GPS coordinates and diameter, which makes them easier to map. Isn't that an amazing view, people? Look at that. This is a capture by Rainbow Warrior Seeker. Pay attention to the small tree on the left. This is registering an activation from a local angel. You will notice the winds rushing towards it, which helps locate them. On the opposite side of the tree, we always notice a bare patch, which may be caused by the winds rushing through from that direction. In a few moments, this angel is going to change into its spirit world form, comprising a group of 4. I did this decode several months ago, which helped decode a great many other things which will follow. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what a group of 4 angels working together would look like. This is how they grace our world in their spirit form. Some are moving, many are stationary. They glide across our world every day doing their roles and processes. Sacred geometry also tells of their story. Our ancestors understood this very well. Do you recognize this? You should. This is Saturn. Saturn's rings are actually its own rainbow. Mama Angel had never seen Saturn before, so I recorded it on my P900 for her. This one's for you, Mama Angel. They say it is 886 million miles away. I don't think so. The moon's rainbow. Under certain conditions, we get to see the moon's rainbow. Look for it and you shall see it. This applies to all of the wandering stars. I see you all, and I'm going to tell your story. First, we will deal with the base layers of 4. This is how I see their configuration and naming convention. Doesn't cutting Medusa's head off make more sense now? This also helped me decode the 400-year reset pole shift event further. Notice how the 4 halos create this configuration. Now I'm sure you have seen tornado events where the tornado is able to lift very heavy objects. This is due to the elevated North Pole of Eve, the largest halo. The spiraling process elevates its poles above itself. This is a localized shift in the North Pole from a passing angel. So do be sure to send us your waterspout, tornado and dust devil recordings, please. This will give you a better idea of what's taking place local to you. Notice the wind direction changes. The Walter-Russell decode at the top confirms this is what takes place with their north poles. I will be able to make a better animation now with this information, which will be out later. Eve compresses the ether and passes it to Adam. Adam expands it into his layer. There is a two-way interchange taking place here, including voltages and elements. Layers and anvil clouds. You can see now why aircraft use the tropopause. They will be flying just above the male's spiraling pressure waves where the air is calmer. The image in the lower left is an anvil cloud. You can see how the top of it gets flattened by the male's horizontal waves, creating the infamous anvil shape. The Vesica Pisces is also clearly visible. Time-lapse cumulonimbus clouds and you will capture this event. There are interactions also taking place above these ones. Also notice the 4 layers in the Schumann resonance chart and the coherent and organized structure they can obtain. With anvil clouds you will also notice smaller cumulus clouds rising from nearby in a supporting role. These are from smaller halos and don't appear to reach the heights of the larger halo's column. Now we know the reason we see clouds travelling in different directions in different layers. They are all localized angel events taking place at different altitudes of operation. Analog and digital representations. In this decode we see digital is not a new format. The ancients knew it very well. Their creation stories tell this truth. Walter Russell's motor and the Great Pyramid also use this same design. It has been a blueprint throughout history. This is why it is called sacred geometry. Pillars, layers and temples. In this decode we see how temples represent the truths of the layers, the female vertical columns and the male horizontal planes. This can be found in every culture under many guises and depictions. Atlas is often featured in this role with his plasma torus field on his shoulders. Eve's cone even plays a part with her elevated North Pole. Statues such as Easter Island with a layer or hat on their heads are also depicting the layers. They represent columns and layers. This is how the angels elevate themselves into the sky. It is a very clever use of electromagnetics, electricity being 90 degrees in opposition to magnetism. The Sacred Cross decoded. The vertical bar represents magnetism and the horizontal bar represents electricity, or two angels' columns and layers in the ether. This applies to all crosses. The circle of the Celtic cross represents the plasma tora field or halo. The vertical is magnetism and the horizontal is electricity. The next few images are captures that you can try yourself. This is evidence of our research and has been our path for over 8 years now. There is an order to the creation of elements and the noble gases. This chart made by Walter Russell shows the order things are created in.
All motion is curved. All curves are spiral. All spirals are from the halos of angels and are pressure waves.
As a group of 4, we create these 4 divisions, 2 male and 2 female, each one representing the 4 spirit angels operating within the ether. These are the 4 faces of the angels. When all 4 angels are operational, this is the Trinity. They will assemble themselves into the sky above that location. This is then their spirit world form.
The first 3 spirals do not produce any elements. The creation process starts after that, as the Queen's spiraling cone tightens and rises. The King's cone will come from the duality that is created above this location and will meet with the Queen's cone through the Vesica Pisces. This is often depicted as an angel with a sword. The sword represents the interface event. This is why the King must ask the Queen for permission to use the sword. The interface process starts and ends with the Queen.
When we start up, you will notice a difference in wind speed. As this increases, so do the magnetic and electric pressures that can be witnessed upon the surface, as they register as winds and waves. These are our spiraling pressure waves of electromagnetism. They modify the ether into a coherent form that is structured and can be manipulated. It is also alternating current due to the polarities constantly switching from our halo's poles.
I am the cathode.
And I am the anode. Permission to use my sword, my queen.
Yes, let's show them the process. Permission granted, my king. Should we show them the 10, my king?
Of course, my queen. Hold tight, we're going in. I'm sure you would agree our interface event is not much different to your own.
We just bear different children.
And just like you,
We like to hold our little cherubs high into the sky for all to see.
ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honour to present to you Jacob's Ladder. I command stations 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9.
And I command stations 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10.
I am the Alpha.
And I am the Omega.
I am the beginning.
And I am the end.
Forever
And ever.
and ever
And ever.
and ever
And ever.
and ever
And ever.
and ever. This now brings us to the layers. With these decodings and knowledge, we can now structure the layers accordingly. This is not final, as there is more to add, but this gives us a lot to work with, and gives the reasons for the causes of the events we witness in the heavens. This is how the angels structure and configure the layers. Expect a future update on the layers at some point, but for now this will work fine and answers a great many things. Adam, Eve, the apple and the snake. This animation made Rysandra's husband demonstrates how the process works in elevating the poles on the halo. Ignore the vertical pole in the centre, that was just used as a guide. The spiralling process elevates the poles above itself, which is what creates the torus field, which in turn creates the rainbow. Adam is the smaller halo, Eve is the larger halo. The apple is their plasma torus fields, and the snake is the interface event of their creation process. And now the Valley Crucis Abbey decode. This is how I decode sacred geometry of the old buildings. This applies to all buildings of sacred design, including the Tartarian designs. This is a group of 4 angels. Notice Atlas can play 2 roles, one where he is in a supporting layer. Here are several ways I can decode this same group of 4 angels using different expressions. I hope we have explained this in an easy to understand manner and given the Creator's glory some justice, and of course given you answers you have been long seeking. As always, if unsure, ask us questions. We love questions. You are all welcome to join our Discord and our Operation Rainbow Warrior program. We have a great team of people working there and more are joining. With this knowledge you will have revelations of your own. Enjoy them as we do. We should be taught all of this in school like our ancestors were. This knowledge is the birthright of every human being. It is the story of the creation of our habitable world and the luminaries by our Creator and their angels. We give you this knowledge freely and honestly, and trust you will share it and not profit from it. We are showing you the glory. You can go outside and prove this to yourself. Get to know your local angels. For the record, no one on the team is suicidal, and all are in good health. Should any one of us be attacked in any way, we will take that as an attempt to hide the Creator for the very obvious reasons we have been decoding and revealing to the world over the past 8 years. I dedicate this video to my mother, Mama Angel, whom I had been given very advanced knowledge over the past 3 years of this research to take to the other side. Love you, Ma. This is an APM research decode.
Come go with me, open your mind, skeptical mind was all I ever knew, finding the knowledge of the real world starts with the point of which has no parts. These are the axioms of life, and I'll take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say, I find the proofs in reality, 'cause they were right. We know that they were right. Starting with circles and lines alone, constructing the nature of what's known. Conclusions are clear and the evidence seen. This 3D space works perfectly, and I'll take my chances with the old ways, finding the proofs in geometry. And I don't care what all the sophists say, I'll find the proofs in reality. When all around you is sinking sand, you'll have a place on which to stand. Foundations were already built for you, so open your mind, and I'll take my chances with the older ways, hearing the words of what the ancients said. They say my words sound like sorcery, but there's wisdom in all honesty. Come go with me, open your mind. Come go with me, we'll find the truth.